Hello? Hello?
Hello?
Micha, how are you?
Who, Menahem?
Yes.
How are you?
Good, very good.
I'm in Los Angeles now.
Ah, you are in Los Angeles, so I don't have to shout.
I'm in Athens. How are you?
Where are you?
I'm in Athens, no, in Athens.
You are in Athens?
Trying to get you for 1 hour now. Is it possible to get the line?
Ah.
You sent me a cable this morning.
I send you a cable.
About the money we owe you, the 12,500.
Yes.
Tell, who is talking?
It's Menahem is talking, but I can tell, Danny Dimbot send you the cable.
Who is in the phone?
Menahem is on the phone.
Ah, bravo, happy. I deposited the money already at the bank.
Good.
But it will take 3-4 days. George is here, because George joined. George just came back today from Los Angeles, from New York.
Yes.
And we have deposited the money already.
Very good, thank you.
4 days, it takes. And how you can trust me?
Yes, I trust you, of course.
My word of honor, that has been deposited.
No problem. A young painter, it's natural, goes to Paris, whereby he can live in the atmosphere of all the great painters, in the museums, in the cafes, discussing and meeting other young painters. I think Hollywood, in the same sense, for a filmmaker. And every corner you look, it smells history of motion pictures. I mean, the creation, the making, and for me it was a dream always. Basically, my story is around you and your son, and the father and the wife. Stephen Hayes' part will be a small part of an organizer, bad guy, etc. And I did not sign Stephen yet, and I will discuss it with you. But definitely, I'm not going with Mike Stone.
But do you know what? Action scene is very important. Action scene.
Yes.
Okay, Mike does very good choreography.
Yes.
Also, he can fight with me very good.
Yes.
And Steve, I have no guarantee I can do. Okay, that's the main thing.
Look, Mike Stone, he thinks his head is in the sky. He's not on Earth. He wants crazy money, and it is impossible for us to pay this kind of money. It is impossible. We're not doing big budget movie. Impossible. So if I have to lose you, I will lose you, and I'll be very sorry. But I think you should think about it very well. Yes? First of all, we are Israelis. And we are learning America. So our first film that we did in America didn't work so well. Because we decided to come to America and do American films. And we forgot that we actually are thinking not like an American. So this is what we call the school time. I mean, you learn. And but we will always do films that are a little different, I think, because of our background and mentality. But on the other hand, I will contradict myself a little bit by saying that this industry in America was created by foreigners like us.
Okay, might as well get rid of the bad news, huh?
What is the bad news?
Okay, it's money.
Money is
I have to make...
Money is Yoram.
Money is Yoram.
We are unique partners, I think. לי ברור שאם שוק הסוגי ועם הבן שלו אני יכול לעשות דבר סנסציוני. אתה מבין?
והוא לא מוכן לוותר?
הוא לא, תראה, הוא צריך, מה זה לוותר? הוא צריך שמייק ייתן לו, יעני, ויתור. There is no accounting between us. It's never been. Never been. From the first day we've been together. Never been. ומייק עוד החתים אותו. אליסון, get me Rivkin. And what about the lady in Italy?
Chris, what's going with Sylvia? Did you get my telex?
Where we didn't have money together. When we suffer, I didn't have a house, he didn't have a house. When I had a house, he had a house. Hello, Gil. Chag Sameach.
Chag Sameach.
It's more than brothers. We forge each other's signatures on checks. If you understand, that is the maximum where you can get to.
כבר יודע.
We'll do the Seder together.
הלילה זה כולנו מסובים, הלילה כולנו מסובים.
עכשיו קצת שקט ותקשיבו להגדה. עבדים היינו לפרעה במצרים, ויציאנו אדוני אלוהינו משם ביד חזקה ובזרוע נטויה. בייחוד הילדים צריכים לשמוע את הסיפור הזה. ואילו לא הוציא הקדוש...
האג'נט של ג'יימס קופרן, נו.
לא באת עם זה?
אני אצלצל, לקח מספר.
אי אפשר, הוא צריך לדבר איתך, אז חכה.
נו, מה אני יכול לעשות?
הוא עושה הפסקה.
אני באמצע הסדר.
תתנצל ותגיד לו עכשיו.
היית ביזנס באמצע הסדר, כזה דבר אותו קרה. אז בואו נמשיך לקרוא, נו.
It's true. The first 2 years was very difficult. We had people who ran our domestic distribution, which were recommended to us, and we listened to them. We didn't want to be the 2 Israelis who came from Israel, and they are the big shots, you know. And unfortunately, it was a mistake that we listened to them, and we lost a fortune. In the last 9 months, we really took the wagon and control it, and all the pictures change. We made, first of all, pictures which are in demand in domestic markets, in foreign markets. They are in demand by the major companies. We control the distribution domestic, and the company looks now very promising.
This looks foreign to me
How
already.
many worlds are there in the universe?
Because it looked
Yeah.
Perhaps millions.
You don't...
Unless they come from much closer, but
I don't think you need this dialogue. Put a reader and you cut all this.
Mars has always
Only leave the strong stuff. Only the
But as far as that cave was concerned,
Oh,
there
you
was
need no
absolutely
strong
nothing
images.
in there.
Take out all the dialogues. Whenever you need an image, you can draw another image even from the film. But I think you can cut about half of it. How long a trailer you need?
Minute 50.
A minute 50.
That's all.
Listen, I just promote you to a trailer maker.
Okay.
You're going to make this trailer. I'll give you an editor.
Okay.
Okay, I'll speak to Karen. You'll get Karen. You and Karen will do it. I'm involved in every aspect of the making of the movie. It's true. And the last part, which is bringing it out, is, I would say, like it is like in a good meal to end it with strawberries. You know what I mean? It's a good dessert. Promotion, advertising, publicity, public relation, the first connection. How does the public react to the title of the movie and to your idea? Because it always reflects on your idea when you started. And that's an exciting moment. The biggest exciting moment in making of the movie for me is the first screening. Start to make the invitations. Start to make a sample invitation.
Okay, so what you want, like we had last year then, is like one page, the ad,
Yes.
right? And then down here at the bottom,
Yeah, look.
all these little boxes.
Right,
Well, I
look.
know.
Invitation big.
Invitation to a screening.
To a screening.
We'll have him do it in multicolored papers again.
Each film in another color. We're actually preparing now for Cannes Festival next month, and we are disclosing in Cannes, announcing more than 12 motion pictures for the coming year. We're doing more important motion pictures, better subject matters, And we are becoming one of the most important independent film producers company in the world. Let's go. Lemon popsicle. How many we have? 1, 2. Where is lemon pop?
3.
Yeah.
Ray, Cavallari. 4, 5.
Yes, Ray.
That's Menahem. Okay, here's what he countered with. The 50,000 for him is fine.
Yes.
2,000 a week for his son is fine, but a guarantee of 5 weeks.
Yes.
And Show wants his SAG card. Wants you to get him his SAG card.
If it's in my hands, I will get it.
Okay.
Yes, if it's my hand, of course, I'll do my best. It's my best effort.
Okay, then.
So
why don't I come over later on this afternoon? Do you want to set a time?
Yes, 5 o'clock.
5 o'clock. I'll be there.
I want Show to be here to sign.
Okay.
Bring Show with you.
And I've got a paper with some other little contingencies on them, but I don't think any of them are going to be a problem.
So I'm paying a minimum of 10 to the boy, right?
Pardon me?
A minimum of 10 to the boy.
A minimum of 10 to the boy.
All right, and 50 to him.
50 to him.
And he will sign.
And that's what he told me.
Fine. Terrific. We sometimes don't understand why the way the American majors are producing films, why they cost so much. I mean, we're not limousine people, and we are not first-class aeroplane, and etc., etc. And when we do a movie, we think what's going to be on the screen, and not our private leisure, and we don't play tennis in the morning, and we don't go to Beverly Hills Hotel and sit in the polo lounge, etc., etc. I do have now a swimming pool in my home, but this is a real pleasure. It's the only thing I can afford to relax. This pool. It's the American luxury we don't have in Israel.
Well, you have the Canaries.
Well, I miss it. I miss the Canaries. The most beautiful place in the world.
You ever swim across it?
Yeah. When I was young, my breathing was better. I remember my youth in Tiberias. I'm from a town called Tiberias on the Lake of Galilee in Israel. We had a small cinema in town. And if I was not in the cinema 7 times a week, I mean, for me, it was terrible. We used to have in our house, under our apartment, a washing machine, how do you call it, where people came down to wash the laundry, and then to press it. The machine was made out of 2 reels you put the cloth in between the 2 reels. So I took this machine, and I started to roll in between photographs or cuttings that I cut from my mother's library. My mother had a Polish library with a lot of books. I couldn't read Polish, but in the books there were a lot of photographs or drawings or paintings. I created stories. I cut those paintings and I put the one to the other, and I have created stories. So what I did, I used to hide myself behind a curtain, let the photograph or the paintings roll over in front of the audience, and I put a light to it, and my voice was telling the story of those photos. And that's how I started, actually. I mean, to me, till today, it's a motion picture is more a hobby than a profession.
Canon Films may help you? Yes, one moment.
That's a guy that's a movie star. We can make a movie star out of him.
I like Shokasugi.
Well,
I like Shokasugi. What should I tell you? Nobody.
Maybe we use both of them.
Maybe.
Maybe. I love this guy. I think her instinct is very good. I love the way this guy looks. Don't forget, the problem with Shokasugi, I don't know. The problem with Shokasugi is his English.
Yeah, we have to change to dub him.
I know, but this guy, maybe the 2 of them together.
All right.
I like that. Why don't you talk to her? Ask her to come in for a minute, will you? How do we get her on the phone?
Who?
Priscilla.
Ask Ellison.
Ellison!
Ask Priscilla to come in.
Priscilla, join us, please.
My mother wanted me to become an engineer or a lawyer, like all good Jewish mothers. And it was planned that I'll go to the Technion in Haifa. And when I finished high school, it was before the war, the year of the beginning of the War of Independence. Before that, they put me in a radio shop in order to make me a radio engineer before I go to the Technion. And then, thank God, the war started.
מה אתה דואג? מסתדר.
צריך להכין לו צ'ק ביום שני.
ואם תיתן לו את זה לסוף השבוע?
הוא בא, ואני רוצה, דיברתי לו, הוא יבוא, הוא רוצה שנגמור על סימורון באותו זמן. Come here for a minute. This guy you mentioned, I want to see him.
Isn't he great?
Yeah, sure.
He's so good looking.
Good looking is not enough. The question, what can he do else?
Explain who he is to me.
I've already talked to somebody now who knows who he is, who knows he is a fantastic, smart guy, number one. He can talk.
Yeah.
He's no dummy. He looks terrific.
Yeah.
And he's a very, very good martial artist. In the last 5 years, he has shot
What's
up
his
to
name?
the top. Keith Vitali.
He is what, Italian?
That's an Italian last name, but he's American.
I want to see him, meet him.
But how can we find
But I think we're wasting our time because I made a deal with Sho Kosugi.
Well, tell him about Mike Stone.
So just call me.
That's what he said.
He says,
At 5 o'clock.
so how are things going there? He said, I know you have a meeting with him. And I said, well, I don't know. How are things going there? And he says, well, I don't know if Mike has decided one way or the other. It's
No.
like, you know.
But my deal with him, with his agent, is that if Mike will refuse, nevertheless, he's doing the movie.
Okay, but I don't think Sho knows that.
He knows that.
Does he?
Yes, he knows
Okay.
it. Sho is a Galicianer. I told you what is a Galicianer.
He's a Litvak,
Yes.
you're wrong.
I flew small airplanes in the beginning, in the second part of our war. And always, wherever I was in the army,
We're doing a sequel.
I either used to, to entertain the soldiers myself, because I was a showman, I couldn't stop it. So I had my sort of unofficial army group with whom I went around between the camps and made shows. I probably was a better showman than a pilot.
Wire me the offer, send me 2 scripts because he'll be in this afternoon. I give him the script, he'll read it, and then meet with you.
All right, my friend. I cannot promise you nothing, but I will go ahead. And I'll start to move it, okay?
Right.
Because the idea just came, you just shot it at me. Let me see.
All right, so now...
On OJ Simpson and on Savalas, I'm sending you the script.
All right, what about the offers?
I told you to give me 2 more days.
I just get over anxious. But it's the smell of your money, I want it.
Bastardo. El bastardo. How are you otherwise?
All right, my friend.
Another Italian was with me all last night, Franco Nero.
He's so nice.
He's a very nice man, yes.
Really is. I really
He did
like
a great job, for me in the Enter the Ninja. The movie came out fabulous.
him. Really?
Really, and anytime you want to show my directorial job, apart from the Antebbe picture, you have this one because, Colombia bought it.
You're a super director.
No, give me a chance to work with a superstar one day.
I promise you I will.
A friend of mine told me about a theater looking for a young guy who looked like me. I was very thin at the time. They looked for a thin actor. and I went and auditioned, and I got the part. From the beginning, I didn't know what I'm going to do. I mean, whether I be an actor, a director, etc. It all fascinated me, this world. And as Israel was created and started the first period of peace, I just left the country and went to study to London. And there I spent 3 years in school.
Ellison. Nobody there?
I studied at London Academy of Music and Drama, acting.
All right. You want me to go to lunch? It's all the time. Keep suspense and action. Sinister voices. Add to it.
It started by naturally that they asked me to direct some scenes with the other students, maybe to avoid hearing my English as an actor. But, I was all the time, the director in me all the time came out. And I remember the first directorial job that I did in the school was Othello. And it was a turmoil in school because I dared to make Othello like a wild Israeli or a wild Arab. And the headmaster of the school took me and he said, you should go and study directing. And he arranged for me a scholarship in the Old Vic School, which was at the time the most important school in the world for theater directors. It was a very wonderful school. I directed theater for about 6 or 7 years. I was 23 when I started that, and I became, at the age of 24, I had quite a success in Israel, and every theater was after me, so I had a career. But then years went by and I started to get bored with the theater. I really felt that I'm like closed between those four walls and was all the time looking to get to cinema. I left Israel again at the peak of my career as a theater director, just left everything. I already was married, I had a child, we left the country, and I decided to become a student again. And I went to New York.
Snow and underneath all of it. When I was in school, I was ready to do anything, you know. Like I think any young filmmaker, it's a quality that is almost essential when one starts in the business. No music here. You have to love it. You have to be crazy about it. Not just to love it, be crazy. You have to when you go into it, you have to be a drunk. You have to be somebody who that is his whole life. Here, hold it. Again, gentlemen, we are going to get some action. 1661, I studied in New York. But from New York, I wrote to Roger Corman, who was doing a production. I said, no money, anything you want, I go anywhere you want, I want to work on a picture. And that's how I did my first picture. And he put me in the beginning as a grip. And he used students a lot. So the other student who was in this film was Francis Ford Coppola.
And together we did that movie all over Europe. It was a terrific experience. Francis Ford Coppola, I remember, every night used to write a script, used to work on a script. I mean, after we were working from 6 in the morning until 10 at night, and then we were falling to our beds dead tired, and I remember the typewriters of Francis Ford Coppola in the other room near to me. He was working till 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, and he was writing, I think, his first script. And he was a very ambitious young guy at the time. And I remember that we both had a little conflict in the beginning. We both tried to get out of Roger Corman some money to do a movie, to manipulate Roger to give us money to do a movie. I had a script that I've written, but it was an Israeli script. It was called El Dorado. It's about an Israeli gangster. You know, a commercial film. In Israel, there were never done commercial films before. It's a drama about a prostitute and a thief and their love affair. Roger liked my script and was ready to give me $30,000 to do the movie in Israel. But then Francis came and told him, I'll do an American movie for you for $30,000. And we had a little conflict. And he said, do you have a script? He didn't have a script at the time, but that was the script that he wrote at nights. And before we finished the movie, he had the script ready. And that became Francis Ford Coppola's first film. It is a horror film that he shot in Ireland.
I want to order some more photos of this.
You want to order more photos?
Yes.
You want me to choose some and I'll have them made into what?
Yes.
Color or black and white?
Color. Color. In principle, I mean, we're in agreement. I'm trying to get... look, we are signing and there is no... To me, I gave the offer.
Right. And Show understands that.
All right.
And
Show... If he will do the movie, fine. If not, not. If you won't do the movie...
By the way, Stu, are you planning to pick up Stephen Hayes? Did you talk to him?
He will play the bad guy.
Even the bad guys?
He will be one of the bad guys. He will not play a big part.
No.
But I want... He can fight swords very well, I understand, no? That's what I was told. He said so.
Then he
I
must
have lots of photos of him fighting. You fight with him? You fought with him?
Do I want?
Did you fight with him once?
No.
He will win you.
Well,
he's a big expert, and he looks good.
That
He
you
looks
agree?
better. He looks better than Mike Stone. I swear to you. He looks bad man.
Oh boy. Whatever you think.
Huh?
Whatever you think. But sometime you better believe me. Trust me.
I trust you.
Yeah.
I trust you.
Yeah.
I give my word of honor.
Okay, I trust you.
Now, for the picture now, the number 4.
Yes, we have a deal.
Eh?
Yes.
The Lemon Popsicle will be concluded in Cannes, in Los Angeles.
We will meet in Cannes and conclude the deal.
No. We have concluded already the deal. You shook hands, my wife.
Yes.
Deal.
Yes.
I don't want to
A handshake is like a contract.
What?
A handshake with us is like a contract.
Is like?
Contract.
Naturally. Don't say that again. You insult me. Your promise is more important than the contract.
Right. So don't worry.
We agreed on that point. 40,000.
Yes.
How much you want in advance?
All the money.
We want a letter of credit.
No credit. Advance money.
Advance 20%.
That will be sent to them this Saturday.
All right.
What is the name of the picture? The name? You have a name?
We have a name. Screwing around.
Eh?
Screwing around.
Going?
Screwing. You know what is screwing?
Doing?
Screwing. S like Sarah. C R E
Yeah.
W I N G. Screwing.
That is fucking. Screwing means fucking.
Yes, it is screwing around has two meanings. One means fucking.
Screwing around.
Yes, but it also means when you go and do nothing. When you are, sitting on your ass and do nothing.
All right. So what about the party?
I think to cancel it. Let's send the telex to Martinez. You write the telex, do me a favor. Write the telex.
They say that, I created the film industry in Israel, the film industry. I don't know that is a fact. All I know is that I did more films than others. And my films, or most of them, were very successful.
Will Harrison is out then.
Yes. So you go from him looking at the building
Right.
to the airport.
Right.
And the next scene after the airport, when he comes to the building.
Right.
I like to tell stories and play with them.
You know the story, the way I think about the story.
I really
A little
don't
bit.
But a little bit,
I can
my
t-
son, myself, or something.
I can tell you the way I think the
Yeah,
story. Your father,
Yes.
beautiful man, 60, 70,
Uh-huh.
Japanese rich man,
Uh-huh. Businessman.
many restaurants,
Many years. All right.
okay, or many clubs or something like that, many restaurants. There is a bad organization, bad guy that take protection. You know what is protection?
Yes, I understand.
From the restaurants.
Creating motion picture is the nearest thing to godliest, you create life if you believe in it from scratch, from an idea. I mean, you create a character, you create drama, you create people, you create a situation, and by the fact that it is so visually, it's the nearest thing to life itself.
I thought that Stephen Hayes, in the beginning when they killed the wife, is one man, dressed in a black ninja. There are two black ninjas in the film.
I see.
One a good and one a bad.
Oh,
But we don't know who is this black. We don't connect that he is the same man who is in the society, a very important, very known man. He goes to the restaurants. He's like Hugh Hefner. He's a millionaire. He leads two lives.
When I start a movie, when I go into it, it's a whole world that develops. Now, how come I do such different movies? Because I'm not trying to tell a message, and I'm not doing a movie for certain purposes before I start to do the movie. I'm playing with this like a child, and when the story attracts me, then I'm doing the movie, and the style of the movie or what the movie tries to convey is not that important for me during the making of the movie. Maybe this is a wrong approach, but that's how I am. You know, in Israel, when you drive 30 minutes, you usually take a pajama with you. It means that you are going away to almost another kind of surrounding in another city, etc. Between the other things, when I directed theaters, I had my own children's theater. Because all my life, you know, I liked fairy tales. I've bought the rights to a series of books about a monkey and a child, and it's called, we are calling it My Pal Clyde. That's a name I gave to it because Clyde is an orangutan that became famous in America lately through a couple of successful films. And I would like to make this film with this orangutan and a boy. It is agreed that Jungle will supply the services of a orangutan, and by the name of
CJ. CJ.
CJ, that's
I mean, that's what we call him, CJ.
C period, J period.
Yeah.
CJ, known to us as Clyde.
Okay, that's right.
And a few other animals needed in a film entitled My Pal Clyde. Currently, or you know, what you call provisional title, Canon will pay Jungle for the services, for their services, their total services, a fee of $50,000. You'll type it and give it to him, and then he will come back to me.
Put it together and give me a couple days and we're in business.
All right,
Yeah.
sir.
Be the best of all your pictures.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, I'll see you soon.
Okay.
Thank you, bye. So please don't take long couple of days, because if we want to go,
I understand.
Things are very fast-paced here. There's a lot of things going on at one time, which
Yeah, he doesn't seem to write much down. How?
he has a great memory, a real good memory. He screams things out, if you notice. A lot of things are just, it's screamed out, and you just have to, somebody else grabs pen and paper and writes it quickly. It's, you know, there's not a lot of time to think. Decisions are made quickly, in a second, split second. I came in here and was hired in 1 second. You know, I'd been on many interviews, and he just said, okay. It's just, the decisions have to be made that way because of all the projects going on. You can't contemplate every move. There's just a lot of things.
How are the hours?
The hours are never ending. We work here 6 to 7 day week, and it's out of want. It's not something that, you know, you're told that you must do and you have to do it. It's just a matter of there's a lot to get done, and everybody's into it, and I think most of the people who work here have got to be loyal, or they wouldn't work as hard as they work. It's a good, you know, 10-hour day every day, and always Saturday, and sometimes Sunday.
That doesn't leave you much time for anything else.
You're right about that. You're right about that.
They always work 6 days a week. They never take a weekend off.
Holidays?
Holidays? When they go to film festivals, that's their holiday, but that really isn't a holiday because that is a 24-hour-a-day job. Those are their holidays. They never go on a holiday. It's amazing.
We start to shoot in the August 1.
Who is going to be the same director?
Yes, yes, Boaz Davidson.
Same actors?
Same actors. Everything the same.
Which story was good?
Screwing Around, it's called. Lemon Popsicle Part 4.
Okay.
All right?
Give you, it's 8,000 now and 12,000 when you start shooting.
Okay. And 20 when we deliver.
I'll be in Cannes on the 13th of May at the Martinez always.
Very good. Like.
You'll be there?
Yes, room 219, always.
Have you sold the pictures, the other pictures?
It depends which. We have not sold many. You come to us the first day. And,
always, my dear
and be flexible.
A big dinner.
Ah, here is the bastardo. You speak to him, don't speak to me. Here is Yoram.
Michaelidis!
Eh?
How are you?
Big dinner. I offer again big dinner too.
What?
As last time, I offer you big dinner too.
Okay. Victor!
Yes.
It's Yoram.
You bastard. You're a big bastard.
Where is my money?
I will go to Menahem. First today, the money, today, Friday. It comes 5-6 days, because this money are not official, you know that. But I promise you, as Victor Mikalidis, that will be done, finished.
So, okay, so if you will do it, I will keep my word also.
הוא שולח עוד 8 על למו.
Have a deal with my wife for $40,000.
I don't deny it, but you have to keep your word also. You promise and promise and promise, and you are not paying.
If I don't keep my word, then you don't speak to me again.
Okay, we are doing very big movies, you should know.
Eh?
We are doing very big movies, which will be announced in Cannes. So you better be good with us.
Happy to deal with you.
Okay.
All right. Sign this, and all this, and take yourself the front copy. Okay. Okay, and the check will be returned for you. I'll go down to the editing room. I'll be back. Okay. We just started from scratch a couple of years ago with this company. And we hear the company is flourishing and growing and makes important motion pictures. They wonder, how come? There are people here who are trying to do a movie for 10 years and can't put a movie together. Producers, so-called producers. This town is full of a lot of bullshit is in this town, a lot of bullshit. I would say that out of every 100 people who say they produce their films, maybe 3 or 4 or 5 films are being made. Maybe 2, I don't know the percentages. All I know, there's a lot of talk and bullshit. We are filmmakers. That's how we call ourselves. And we do make films.
Not all what I wanted is done. And I still have goals.
What are they?
To achieve a motion picture that will be a world hit. For some reason, I like to break it here in America. When I did a successful motion picture in Israel, I went to the theater, full house, when people were fighting to get in, and I heard the laughs or the smiles or their excitement or the suspense, and I was in the theater, the contact with the public. I didn't get that yet here in America. And I probably won't get it so soon. I won't get it until I will make a real American movie that they could identify with. And not being an American, that's not easy. But I'll do it. Sunset Boulevard. We're coming to Sunset Boulevard. In the old Hollywood part.
I sent 12,500, all right, finished. Now the 8,000 should be given in Cannes?
Yes! Yes, in Cannes. Okay, we agreed in Cannes. לא יחתום לו את החוזה אם הוא לא יביא.
Now it's closed, $40,000.
Okay, so you bring $8,000 to Cannes.
12 ביום הראשון של הצילום.
8,000?
Yes, yes.
Bravo.
Okay. Bye-bye.
The other picture you have available, I'll discuss more calm, because
okay.
Los Angeles was a mad place.
No, but you lost already. Chatterley and Ninja went to Colombia.
Yes?
Yes, Colombia bought Ninja and Chatterley. That's finished.
So we have big films in Cannes, we speak.
Now we are announcing new big films. If you want to buy them, you buy. If not, it will go to Colombia also.
Keep them for me when I come there.
Okay, okay, bye.
Thank you very much.
Bye.
Come to everybody, my love. My wife
give regards to your wife and to George.
And George, thank you very much.
Bye, bye. סרט לא טוב, אתה מבין? בשביל זה הוא מצלצל היום.